This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Wednesday, December 18th. Welcome to CBN Newswatch. I'm Efrem Graham. The House of Representatives is set to impeach President Donald Trump, just the third time in U.S. history that's ever happened. The president is accused of obstructing Congress and abusing the power of his office for personal gain. Democrats say he pressured the president of Ukraine to investigate his political opponents. In a 6-page letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the president slammed the impeachment, calling it, quote, illegal, partisan, attempted coup. He also accused Pelosi of, quote, declaring open war on American democracy and adding more due process was afforded to those accused in the Salem witch trials. The president says he is not concerned about being impeached.
And Mr. President, do you take any responsibility for the fact that you're about to be impeached?
No, I don't take any, zero, to put it mildly.
After a procedural vote, House members will get one last chance to debate the 2 formal articles of impeachment. The final vote will be held immediately after and is expected to pass along party lines. Reporter Charlene Aaron has been following this story for us and joins us now with more. So I understand there were impeachment rallies held across the country. What can you tell us about that?
Well, hours before the House votes on impeachment, from hundreds of demonstrators gathered across the country, protests were held in Times Square in New York and in other places like Florida, Oregon, and Minnesota. And in some places, those protesting in favor of impeachment were met with those who are opposed to it.
What do the polls show about impeaching the president?
It really is showing a very divided nation right now. Latest polls by Real Clear Politics show Americans are split on the issue, with 46.9% in favor of impeaching and removing the president from office and 47.6% opposed to it. So definitely a divided time right now.
Indeed it is. All right. Thank you so much for that reporting. Thank you. The House has passed a $1.4 trillion government spending package. This gives President Donald Trump a victory on his U.S.-Mexico border wall. The package also gives Democrats spending increases across a swath of domestic programs. The legislation prevents a government shutdown that would have taken place this weekend. An announcement is expected this week from the White House on reducing troops in Afghanistan. It follows the discovery of government documents that reveal top-level U.S. officials across 3 administrations thought the war was unwinnable. CBN News national security correspondent Eric Phillips has this story.
After a 3-year legal battle, the Washington Post won the right to release the documents. The bottom line: Pentagon and military officials who saw the Afghanistan war as a lost cause were giving American people false hope. After 18 years, 2,500 lives lost, and costs in the trillions, comes word that 4,000 U.S. troops will withdraw from the war-torn country.
Every time we debate a few thousand troops, we turn it into some huge national security decision, and it really doesn't rank that high in importance, in my opinion. The important debates are between a substantial presence and nothing at all.
A sentiment underscored by Defense Secretary Mark Esper to the House Armed Services Committee.
We have an important counterterrorism mission in Afghanistan. That means that we got to make sure that Afghanistan never becomes, again, a safe haven for terrorists can strike the United States. Our commanders, I've spoken with them, General Milley has, feel that we could reduce our force presence there and still be able to conduct that mission.
The decision comes after a surprise revelation contained in government documents showing the lack of confidence military leaders shared in the possibility of success in Afghanistan. I asked O'Hanlon whether he thought that might have influenced the decision to withdraw troops.
I think not at all, to be honest. The Washington Post did some good things with its journalism. I think it made some mistakes in suggesting there was a pattern of duplicity by American leaders. I think that does a disservice to our public debate. But irrespective of that, we know that President Trump has been trying to, gradually reduce our exposure in Afghanistan for the whole 3 years he's been in office.
Although the U.S. will begin to pull out of Afghanistan without hitting many of its goals, O'Hanlon says American lives were not lost in vain.
The country has not been attacked again from Afghanistan by anybody like al-Qaeda or ISIS since 9/11, and the Afghan government's still holding on to much of the country. So by those measures, I think we are sort of struggling by with a bare minimum success.
O'Hanlon says the chances of a complete U.S. troop withdrawal in Afghanistan anytime soon is slim, because it could ignite a resurgence of ISIS or al-Qaeda, a national security threat the U.S. can't afford. In Washington, Eric Phillips, CBN News.
The United Nations has dropped its support of a Belgian Carnival parade that featured giant anti-Semitic depictions of Jews. Aldale Hurd has more on this story.
UNESCO has removed Belgium's famous Ulst Carnival from the UN's Cultural Heritage List for its blatant displays of anti-Semitism. We showed you a float in this year's parade that featured a Nazi-style depiction of greedy Jews sitting on a pile of money, one with a rat on his shoulder. Town officials had been warned several times about anti-Semitic symbolism in previous versions of the carnival, but failed to take action on what kind of floats and displays were acceptable. This 2013 float featured a Nazi railroad car carrying Jews to a death camp.
We really regret very deeply that the community of Ulst has not addressed this issue, and we hope that this decision will help them, at least in the mid and long term, to address this issue appropriately.
The leader of the Belgian League Against Anti-Semitism, Joel Rubenfeld, told us he complained about the parade, but the city said it was only humor.
But you know, this kind of humor is killing Jews, meaning Jews have the power, Jews have the money, Jews have the control, all these very basic anti-Semitic cliches.
This has been a year of increasing awareness of anti-Semitism in Europe. It was a major issue in last week's British elections, after claims of extensive anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. Violent attacks against Jews in Germany have doubled, and for the first time since World War II, Jewish leaders have warned that it's too dangerous to wear the kippah or Jewish cap in some parts of Germany.
And me, myself, I wouldn't wear a kippah. Unfortunately, it's not safe. Maybe I hope that it will be safe in future, or maybe it was safe in the past, but right now, in 2019, no, it is not safe at all, unfortunately.
A German magazine even printed a paper kippah for all Germans to wear to show solidarity with Jews. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
A whistleblower is accusing the Mormon Church of violating federal tax laws and accumulating some $100 billion in charitable accounts. That is according to a story in the Washington Post. The complaint charges the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been storing up and reinvesting contributions meant to be spent on charity. The whistleblower is a former senior portfolio manager who worked at Ensign Peak Advisors in the church investment division. Listed as an auxiliary of the church, it operates as a nonprofit organization to help the church manage its money. The whistleblower is calling on the IRS to strip Ensign Peak Advisors of its tax-exempt status and alleges it could owe the IRS billions of dollars. In a statement to the Post, the church said revenue goes toward supporting the church's mission and, quote, investments can be accessed in times of hardship. Every human has a conscience, and government shouldn't be messing with it. Coming up, we're going to hear from a strong defender of religious liberty. We'll be right back.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, a new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
Administering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to CBNNewsChannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News. Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully.
Jesus said it. I came to give you life, life to the fullest. Life in your family, life in your finances, life in your body, mind, and spirit, life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Public prayer, right to life, traditional marriage, more and more these views are deemed hateful and bigoted. A small minority is leading the charge against biblical beliefs. Who's fighting back? Paul Strand introduces us to one defender of religious liberty and tells us why they see reasons for hope.
As one who argues cases up here puts it, the heart of religious liberty is this: every human has a conscience, and government shouldn't be messing with it.
It's that inner voice that urges us to choose the good and reject evil.
Luke Goodrich has fought for this right before the U.S. Supreme Court and writes about the huge challenges to it in Free to Believe.
When the government comes in and forces us to violate our conscience, it's forcing us to go against our human nature and violating a fundamental human right.
But as America moves toward a post-Christian era, issues seen by believers in their conscience as wrong are now exalted. Therefore, any opposition to them is condemned as rank discrimination.
Now those long-standing Christian beliefs are actually viewed as a threat.
The biggest current battleground, homosexual and transgender rights.
The rapid advance of gay rights is certainly the most significant religious liberty threat today.
The government long ago said you can't discriminate based on someone's race or sex. If the Supreme Court rules sex includes sexual orientation or transgender status in upcoming cases, it could mean real trouble for those with biblical views on human sexuality. You could likely multiply by the thousands new problems of the kind suffered by Baker Jack Phillips, who refused to make a cake celebrating gay marriage.
Thousands of religious organizations will face new lawsuits and new liability simply for acting on their long-standing beliefs about human sexuality.
At one point, supporters promised same-sex marriage wouldn't harm anyone. Well, depending on how the court rules, Goodrich points out how those same so-called peacemakers could go all out to get their opponents.
To brand traditional Christian beliefs about marriage as a form of bigotry and then use the power of the state to punish those religious beliefs and practices.
On the other hand, Frank Wright of D. James Kennedy Ministries maintains believers back only one man, one woman marriage because it's healthy for families.
The Bible says it because it's for our welfare. It's what enables families to flourish.
He's sad homosexuals and their allies view that approach as bigotry and hatred.
If they were to come to me and say, you know, why do you hate me? I would explain to them that I don't. You and I see this issue totally differently. I don't hate you. Why should I hate you, and why should you hate me because we disagree?
As for the transgender issue, the Obama administration mandated that doctors and hospitals provide surgery for men who wanted to be turned into women and women into men.
Even when it violated their religious beliefs and their medical judgment. And if they didn't do that, they would be deemed to be discriminating and would be subject to government penalties.
Abortion is another battleground where supporters try to demonize those who can't and won't back it.
If you as a Christian, whether you're a doctor or an employer, if you oppose abortion, you're somehow denying health care to women and discriminating against women.
Goodrich fought for both the Little Sisters of the Poor and Hobby Lobby's pro-life stand before the Supreme Court.
The government was trying to force them to provide abortion-causing drugs in their health insurance plans or in their businesses, even when their conscience told them you cannot participate in an abortion.
The court ruled in favor of both, and Goodrich says believers can take hope in how often their conscience rights win like that in court.
We have a 90% win rate, and we're undefeated at the U.S. Supreme Court.
He warns, however, Christians need to prepare for defeats and learn how to show Christ's love even to a culture that's turning more and more against them.
Much of Scripture is written to Christians who are facing suffering and persecution for their faith. And as Christians, we need to recall those teachings and let those influence us. And it's not just about winning or fighting a culture war. It's actually more about being like Christ in the midst of these conflicts.
What Goodrich hopes for is a government that just leaves religion alone as much as possible. For instance, in public schools, it shouldn't force students to pray, but it can allow a time where they can pray if they want. It shouldn't build a cross on government property, but it can let one stand. In other words, government shouldn't oppose or promote religion. It should just let it be. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from the Supreme Court.
Still ahead, before you reach for the medicine cabinet, make sure that you are reaching for the right foods in your refrigerator. Hear what you need to know to beat disease next.
Daddy?
Yeah, buddy.
How many nickels are in a dollar?
There are 20 nickels in a dollar.
How do birds fly? Does milk really make my bones stronger?
Yeah.
Daddy, when we die, will we go to heaven?
Do you have the answer to life's biggest question? Call the 700 Club. We'll help you find answers to the important questions life brings your way.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times bestselling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain, get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
It has the power to influence weight loss, boost your immune system, and improve brain function.
We've seen an explosion of data on the role of the gut microbiome in health.
The free Build a Better Gut booklet reveals the latest information about the gut microbiome. You'll discover how your gut affects the rest of your health.
The gut microbiome has been linked to depression and cancer and heart disease.
Learn how to build a stronger, healthier gut.
The microbiome, if it's in good composition, are really protecting us all the time from more invasive things.
Get the Build a Better Gut booklet, free from the Christian Broadcasting Network. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com/buildabettergut.
You need to make sure that your microbes are working with you, not against you.
And if you order online, you'll get immediate access to the Build a Better Gut series, a digital copy of the booklet, and related bonus material. Build a Better Gut today. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com/buildabettergut for your free copy.
Welcome back. New medical research reveals effective ways to fight back against cancer, heart disease, and depression. And the answer might be in your pantry. As CBN medical reporter Lori Johnson shows us, the key to self-healing is feeding our bodies the right foods.
When it comes to life's big decisions, what to eat ranks pretty low on our to-do list.
How do you decide what to eat?
By whatever I have in my cabinet at the time.
So. I eat whatever my wife makes for me.
Do you snack?
Definitely, sometimes. Well, most of the time I snack.
According to Dr. William Lee, new science proves that's definitely the wrong approach.
There's no superfood or super diet, but it's really about how our body responds to what we put into it.
Research tells us we have within our bodies amazing natural defense systems designed to protect us against our scariest diseases. Here's the catch. They require nourishment from healthy foods, like olive oil.
Because while medicines can be used to treat disease, foods can prevent the disease in the first place.
In his book, Eat to Beat Disease, Dr. Lee lists 200 foods that fuel our natural defense systems, such as the microbiome, the mixture of good and bad bacteria in our gut. Fermented foods and fiber enrich the microbiome, and surprisingly, even sourdough and pumpernickel breads.
Turns out that sourdough is made with Lactobacillus reuteri. In fact, it's that bacteria that creates that nice tangy taste. That bacteria boosts our immune system. Pumpernickel bread, which is made from rye flour, R-Y-E. Rye flour will actually decrease the levels of an unhealthy bacteria in our gut that creates a toxin that causes inflammation.
We all know DNA contains our genetic code, but it's much more than that. Our DNA also tells our body what to do. Unfortunately, it's a fragile system, constantly under attack from things like UV rays, secondhand smoke, and gasoline fumes. Certain foods, like tomatoes, help our DNA stand strong under attack.
Almost 36,000 men have been studied, and it was found that those who ate 2 to 3 servings of cooked tomatoes, that's tomato sauce, per week had a 30% decreased risk of developing prostate cancer.
Thanks to our own stem cells, bodies can renew themselves.
So when we were kids, we were taught that salamander and starfish regenerate, but people can't. Science is turning that upside down. We know that we do regenerate from the inside out using our stem cells.
Turns out chocolate can be a super fuel for these cells.
And I write about, in my book, a study looking at men who have coronary disease. And when they were given dark cocoa, the chocolate alone was able to double the number of stem cells in their bloodstream. And when they measured the reaction of their blood flow, they were able to double that as well. So it's quite remarkable.
That flow travels through some 60,000 miles of vessels, delivering oxygen and nutrients to our cells. That highway is a system called angiogenesis. While it feeds vital organs, it can also feed cancer cells. We balance angiogenesis through a healthy diet.
You don't want too much, you don't want too little, you want to have just right. Think about Goldilocks.
Vitamin K2 is key to controlling angiogenesis, which you can get through Gouda, Jarlsberg, and Edam cheeses.
This vitamin K2, which is a healthy side effect of making the cheese itself, is a powerful anti-angiogenic, cancer-starving substance.
Some foods feed all of our natural defense systems, like kiwi fruit and green and black tea.
And it turns out there's natural chemicals that are called catechins that are in these teas that can do everything from cut off the blood supply to cancers, to boosting our immune system, to even act as a prebiotic to help feed our healthy gut bacteria.
So by understanding which foods support our body's natural defense systems, we're better equipped to live strong, vibrant lives well into old age. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Food is medicine. Stay with us. There's much more of CBN Newswatch coming up right after this brief break. We'll be right back.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.
This is CBN Newswatch.
Thanks for joining us.
Watch breaking news, exclusive stories and programs, credible news reporting.
We show you what's happening in the world and how you can pray about it.
This is CBN Newswatch, because truth matters. Weekdays at 5 on the CBN News Channel.
Yes, right on time.
From Superbook.
Pepper's Pizza Palace is donating pizza for everyone today. Wait. I have big plans today.
Trust in God even when times are tough. He has a plan for your life.
Hey, we're gonna be late for the grand opening. My parents want me to help with this outreach thing, feeding the community. What am I supposed to do here? Superbook!
Join the Superbook Club and get Superbook The Birth of Moses, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25.
Pharaoh ordered all newborn Hebrew boys thrown into the Nile River, and I have a 3-month-old brother.
The Birth of Moses. Yours for a gift of only $25.
What will you do the next time the soldiers come?
I do not know, but I trust God has a plan for all of us.
Superbook Club members free streaming for seasons 1, 2, and 3 is now available. It has the power to influence weight loss, boost your immune system, and improve brain function.
We've seen an explosion of data on the role of the gut microbiome in health.
The free Build a Better Gut booklet reveals the latest information about the gut microbiome. You'll discover how your gut affects the rest of your health.
The gut microbiome has been linked to depression and cancer and heart disease.
Learn how to build a stronger, healthier gut.
The microbiome, if it's in good composition, are really protecting us all the time from more invasive things.
Get the Build a Better Gut booklet, free from the Christian Broadcasting Network. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com/buildabettergut.
You need to make sure that your microbes are working with you, not against you.
And if you order online, you'll get immediate access to the Build a Better Gut series, a digital copy of the booklet, and related bonus material. Build a Better Gut today. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com/buildabettergut for your free copy.
When I came to Regent University, it's like the world opened up. I felt like I needed to advance my career and go back to school. Regent was a perfect fit for me. The Regent professors are world class. You are equipped. The focus of the faculty is on each individual student, whether it's online or in person. You become a part of Regent's family. You carry with you not just the content and the knowledge, but the confidence to understand that we can be significant in the world.
Regent University. Follow your path.
Louisiana State University's Joe Burrows Heisman Trophy acceptance speech is helping thousands of Ohio residents living in poverty. In his speech, Burrows spoke about the poverty in Southeast Ohio where he grew up.
And I'm up here for all those kids in Athens and in Athens County that, go home to not a lot of food on the table, hungry after school.
That simple statement led to thousands of donations to the Athens County Food Bank as well, a fundraiser that's received now more than $260,000 in donations. Time now for your Wednesday word, and today's word is faith. Without faith, we know it is impossible to please God. But if we are honest, we all have moments where our faith is fading. But take comfort, God meets our fading faith with His amazing grace. With that word, make today a wonderful Wednesday, and be sure to have a fabulous rest of the week, knowing that God stands ready to fix that fading faith with His awesome and amazing grace. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN Newswatch. Remember that you can find more of our CBN News programs anytime on the CBN News channel. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today or any day. You can email us. That address is newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram. Again, I wish you a wonderful Wednesday and a fabulous rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless.